right this minute. And the pay-per-view, the viewing figures would go through the
I think Moses potentially can be a brilliant heavyweight at 21 years old to do what he's doing now. I think potentially can be brilliant. And that's not just going with the crowd. You're going on what you see, because you can always build someone up and say this kid's that kid, and people, they don't do the homework, they get sucked in. Yeah, he's brilliant, they've not even seen. I'm telling you, from my opinion, from my view, I think he's a very talented young man. I think potentially he's got so much potential, it's ridiculous. And this guy's nowhere near the finished article.
I think you just touched on it there, which I picked up. You said Zuffa are talking to heavyweights. I feel like you're talking from inside knowledge. Obviously, they've just signed a deal with Sky Sports, which is official now. It was rumoured a few months ago, but it's official. So are you saying Zuffa are in the market to sign anyone that's a free agent?
I'm telling you, if you're a promoter here in the UK, lock your fighters down. Lock them down, because if you don't lock them down and they've got something about them, they're probably having a conversation right now, because I know conversations are being had. So now the promoters have got to be professional, be tight, be watertight, because Zuffa are coming to make some noise and ruffle some feathers. And look, you saw what they did with Conor Ben. You saw what they did with Apatai. You know, so do you think they've come here to do?
Alexander Usyk accepts
boxer, but it's okay, fun fight, no problem. But I want a next fight with who winner, Daniel Dubois and maybe.
Listen, Usyk has earned the right to do whatever he wants. There's a pecking order that obviously I've got to respect.
Alexander Usyk just shocked the world by signing a deal no one saw coming. Exploding head. Could this be the fight that changes boxing forever? Or will Itauma destroy his legacy?
Obviously, I don't pay attention to none of that. I don't really care what these other heavyweights think or feel. I know what the truth is, and I know the ability that I'm capable of. Is just nah.
Do you not think we'd sell Wembley out with Moses and Usyk? You sell it out 5 or 6 times over.
Alexander Usyk accepts Moses Atama's fight offer for September 2026, and it changes everything. Usyk officially responds after Atama's dominant win over Germaine Franklin, showing he's ready for war. But he didn't just say yes. He added a chilling warning, promising to crush the hype and expose the young challenger on the sport's biggest stage, making it clear this will be a career-defining battle.
I really think, you know, that's a fight that should happen, and it may get on.
Alexander Usyk accepts Moses Atama's fight offer for September 2026, and everything changes. Usyk officially responds after Atama's dominant win over Germaine Franklin, signaling he's ready for war. But he didn't just accept. He added a chilling warning, vowing to shatter the hype and expose the young challenger on the sport's biggest stage, making it clear this will be a fight nobody will forget.
Sort of very careful with what I do with fights, as you know, but yes, I would make that fight now. Styles make fights. He's got youth, he's got speed, and Alex is a great fighter. I think this young man is something extra.
Moses Atama.
Frank Warren isn't holding anything back. He's practically giving the go-ahead. He openly says he'd make the fight right now, highlighting Moses Atama's speed and youth as serious threats, while still respecting Alexander Usyk's elite level. But the message is loud and clear. Warren believes this young fighter is ready to be thrown straight into the fire and prove himself against the very best in the division.
But I feel like in this boxing game, there's always going to be people saying something, and obviously Usyk had to say something to you guys, and he's not exactly going to come on a camera and say, nah, I don't want to potentially put my career at risk because of a 21-year-old that's coming through the ranks. So obviously he has to say something. But I don't think that people believed it, and if they did, then
Moses Atama fires back, questioning the story around the fight and suggesting Alexander Usyk had to respond publicly. Atama implies that, deep down, Usyk knows the danger this matchup carries but won't admit it. There's clear confidence in his words, with a hint of mind games, as Atama tries to shift the pressure onto the champion while challenging his authenticity and composure.
That to him too. Not better Biev as much, but Bivol fights a little bit that way, but this is with power and speed. Bivol has a bit more volume and grace to his, but Itauma has devastation and electricity behind his left hand, and then that right hook sweeps across and hits you right on top of the head. To see that in the heavyweight is so special, and this is why I call Moses Atama
Frank Warren put.
And if this fight happens, that's when the danger turns real. Moses Atama isn't just another prospect. He's a hybrid with explosive power and elite speed. The comparison even includes aspects of Alexander Usyk's style, but with extra aggression. That mix at heavyweight is rare, and it's exactly why this matchup is being treated with serious attention across the division.
He will go to America, and we certainly will take him to America. But there are fights there. I wish I could make the Usyk fight right now.
So you put him in with Usyk right now, you'd be confident that he could get that win?
I'd put him in right now.
Frank Warren takes it even further. He's not just talking, he's ready to make the fight happen immediately. He openly backs Moses Atama to step in right now and believes he has what it takes to beat Alexander Usyk. That kind of confidence from a top promoter says everything about how highly this young fighter is rated behind the scenes.
And now I think part of what he's saying is this probably wouldn't be ideal. Probably wouldn't be ideal to, it's not perfect timing, but at the same time, I do think it's Moses is the person with the most amount of chance to.
Spencer Oliver.
Ben Davidson may choose his words carefully, but the message is clear. Even he admits Moses Atama has the best shot at beating Alexander Usyk right now. After Atama's performance against Germaine Franklin, the warnings are louder than ever. Fans and analysts are openly saying this young powerhouse could steamroll Usyk and completely dominate him if given the chance. Spencer Oliver takes it further, breaking down why this fight would be dangerous for both fighters. He believes Alexander Usyk isn't just chasing wins, he's chasing legacy. The idea of cementing his status as the greatest by taking down the next generation star, Moses Atama, especially after his rapid rise, makes this matchup a high-stakes, career-defining showdown.
Itauma, and the reason I think that he'll do that, Alexander Usyk, is because Usyk is that guy he'll want to go down as not just one of the greatest to ever do it, but the greatest to ever do it. And I think that by beating the young kid that everybody's talking about as being the next king of this new generation, by doing that, if he beats Moses Atama, his record is unprecedented, isn't it?
Especially after his dominant showing against Germaine Franklin, the hype around Atama is skyrocketing. Spencer suggests Usyk would see this as the ultimate statement fight. Defeating a hyped young destroyer would cement his legacy, proving he sits above everyone else in the sport and securing his place in heavyweight history forever.
Towards a Kabayel-Akoli showdown. Now, Kabayel is very big in Germany, and this fight next week, it's sold out, I think, 16 or 18,000 tickets within about a week or 10 days. I wouldn't be surprised if Queensbury's idea would be for Kabayel.
Moses Atama openly admits the reality. World champions like Alexander Usyk are protecting their value and legacy, and facing a young, explosive fighter like him is risky. At the same time, he respects that these are the fighters who have earned the right to pick their battles. That honesty adds depth. Atama knows his danger, and the whole division knows it too, making every matchup decision tense and high stakes. Wade Plemons breaks it down in full, and what he's describing is seriously dangerous. Moses Atama is being hailed for a left hand full of pure power and a right hook capable of ending a fight in an instant, making him a nightmare for any opponent. The real debate comes down to comparison. Even Alexander Usyk enters the conversation as the ultimate example of skill beating size in heavyweight. The twist with Atama is he mixes that same technical brilliance with raw power, creating a rare hybrid. He moves like a smaller fighter, but hits like a full-blown heavyweight monster, making him a serious threat in the division.
To see that in the heavyweight is so special. And this is why I call Moses Atama a hybrid. And I said this on the Ring Show, what Alexander Usyk is able to use to his advantage at heavyweight, no one else really has. He's a smaller heavyweight. In this era, we are in the era of the super heavyweight. All the heavyweights being like 250 plus at like 6'5". They're monsters. And oddly enough, Usyk uses it to his advantage. He uses it to expose the lack of footwork, fundamentals, technique, speed, and otherwise of the bigger, heavier, powerful guys. But Moses Atama is that hybrid, where he's 240 pounds, 6 foot plus, but he's just as fast as an Alexander Usyk, maybe faster. Actually, no, not maybe, is faster. He possesses all the same skills of a cruiserweight Alexander Usyk, but moves like, some of these middleweights at heavyweight. We haven't seen a guy like him in a very long time, right? That size, that speed, that agility with that technique, that footwork. Again, the last guy it reminds you of is Alexander Usyk, but he's not even a true heavyweight. Itauma is, and it's
Liam Gough doesn't hold back in backing the rising hype around Moses Atama. He's not just echoing opinions, he's confirming them, insisting the excitement is real and fully earned. At just 21, and having sparred with pro heavyweights since 15, Atama's progress is proof this isn't the usual path. Every point circles back to the same benchmark, Alexander Usyk, because the division is starting to see that this kid might not just be the future. He could already be competing at an elite level, blending skill, timing, and power in a way most prospects only dream of reaching.
He's the heir to Alexander Usyk's throne, he's this, that, and I'm here to say, yeah, I think he is all that. And it's not just me, I think the majority of people actually do think that. Moses Atama gets a lot of hype, yes, but it's warranted. It's deserved.
Timothy Bradley Jr. comes out swinging with a blunt take on Moses Atama, making it clear he doesn't rate him anywhere near Alexander Usyk. His tone is sharp, almost mocking the hype, pointing out that Atama hasn't faced anything close to real championship pressure. At the same time, he stresses that Usyk is too smart to risk a fight with a young, hungry puncher like this right now. The point is simple. Raw talent means nothing until it's proven at the top. Bradley's warning is clear. Cool the hype train before reality hits, because the step up to elite level isn't forgiving.
He ain't no motherfucking Usyk. Usyk, that motherfucker go under the water for 10 minutes, he work on his stamina so he can hop around the ring and do what he do for 12 rounds, right? And turn that shit up if he want to, anytime he want, so he different. But he ain't ready for no Usyk, but shit, I know Usyk ain't finna step up and be like, let me fight the young gun right now, hell.
Gareth A. Davies frames the situation like a ticking time bomb, stressing that age and timing could decide everything between Moses Atama and Alexander Usyk. He warns that if Usyk waits too long, the chance could vanish. Or worse, he risks harming his legacy against a younger, fresher, more dangerous opponent. There's also a financial angle, suggesting only huge money could make this fight happen. But beneath it all is a clear warning. This isn't a fight that can be put off forever. The longer it's delayed, the more unpredictable and risky it gets for both. One wrong move, and the heavyweight scene could be turned upside down overnight.
I'm not sure that Usyk will want to fight Moses if he's 40 already. So maybe the clock is ticking. The clock is clicking. The clock is ticking for Moses to fight Usyk before he's 40. Maybe as well he won't want to ruin his legacy, but maybe if Turki Al-Sheikh wants to see the fight, put up enough money, maybe he will fight him, and maybe the legacy will be ruined. But maybe if he fights him before he's 40, is the risk big?
Tony Below raises a serious point, noting that size could be a factor for Moses Atama, but he quickly flips it by pointing to what Alexander Usyk has already shown in the heavyweight division. His message is clear. Size alone doesn't guarantee survival anymore. While he admits Atama isn't yet as technically refined as Usyk, he still calls him a future force in the division. Coming from someone with elite-level experience, that's no small praise. The underlying message is simple: talent like this doesn't wait. If developed the right way, Atama could realistically dominate the heavyweight scene sooner rather than later.
Unbelievable. The only thing that I worry about with Moses is the size. But ultimately, as we've seen now, size becomes irrelevant because look what Alexander Usyk's done. This guy's gone out and beaten everyone, including me. He's exceptional. So I don't think Moses is going to be as technically as good as Alexander Usyk, but he's the next in line. I think he's the future of the heavyweight division. I think he's an outstanding talent.
Adam Smith gives a full-throttle endorsement of Moses Atama, calling him a complete fighter with sharp movement, heavy hands, and the mindset of a future champion. He warns it's dangerous to underestimate someone with this mix, especially in heavyweight, where one slip can end it all. The real tension in his analysis comes down to timing, whether Atama is moving too fast or if now is the perfect moment to test him. And every time this question arises, it points back to the same benchmark: Alexander Usyk, the gold standard that every rising heavyweight is measured against today.
New kid on the block, Moses Atama, who looks absolutely extraordinary, and for me he ticks all the boxes. I like his attitude, I like his style, southpaw, hard-hitting, moves so well. He's going to be very, very difficult to sort of deter. So it's an interesting one because, yeah, is this too soon for Moses, or is this just the right fight at the right?
Russ Amber gives a detailed, observation-driven look at Moses Atama, emphasizing that his analysis comes from careful study, not hype. He points out how Atama reads fights, sets traps with calm precision, chooses his shots smartly, and shows ring instincts beyond his years. To Amber, this isn't just a powerful prospect. He's already showing layers of skill that usually take years to build. That's why his praise carries weight. Yet, even while highlighting Atama's growth, Amber admits that in today's heavyweight scene, the shadow of Alexander Usyk looms large, still serving as the ultimate benchmark for technical excellence in the division.
I spoiled potentially another rising heavyweight that can dominate the division. Why spoil it? Just think, you know what? Sometimes you've got to lose a battle to win the war. So I'd be a bit smart. And I'm not saying he gets turned over by Usyk because you don't know how good this kid is. What I'm saying is, I just wouldn't do it. It's not a risk because he's the future. Usyk's at the stage where he's probably 1 or 2 fights ready to walk away. Moses is 20 years old, so he's the guy that will actually...
Derek Chisora pushes back hard against the idea of Moses Atama facing Alexander Usyk. His view comes from real experience, not guesses. Having fought at the top himself, he knows what separates a true contender from a work in progress. He calls Usyk a completely different beast, an opponent who thrives on timing, smarts, and adaptability that doesn't fade. Chisora isn't doubting Atama's talent, but he warns that jumping into that level too soon could expose weaknesses that still need work. His message is clear: respect the process because rushing could be a costly mistake in the heavyweight game.
I think Moses is one of the best young fighters boxing has seen in years, and I'm not just saying that based on a result over Dillian. I hope you understand that when I look at a fighter, I'm looking at things that others don't see. I'm not looking at the hype. I'm looking at what he does in the ring, how he does it, his skill set. You know, I'm looking at that because that's the important stuff. And right now, to me, he's shown probably a better...
Dave Coldwell delivers a clear, no-nonsense take on Moses Atama, weighing both belief and reality in his fast rise. He notes Atama has the mindset of a fighter who truly thinks he can beat anyone, even a dominant force like Alexander Usyk. That kind of confidence separates solid prospects from future champions. But Coldwell is realistic. He sees Usyk still ruling the top of the division, even if age and wear are creeping in. His main point: timing and ambition matter, but elite-level experience matters more. Right now, the gap between potential and proven greatness is too wide, making this fight way too early, no matter the hype.
Alexander Usyk, or is that too soon? To leave Usyk alone. Usyk's a beast, man. Different beast.
Duke McKenzie lays out a clear vision for Moses Atama, saying that with a few more fights, he could turn into a true powerhouse in the heavyweight division. He calls him a potential wrecking ball once experience fills the small holes in his game. But he draws a firm line at the elite level right now. In his eyes, nobody today can beat Alexander Usyk. The respect for Usyk is total, thanks to his skill, consistency, and ring IQ. Mackenzie separates future promise from current reality. Atama is growing, but Usyk is still in a league of his own today. John Rawlings looks at Moses Atama versus Alexander Usyk from a business angle. He knows money can push fights that seem impossible, especially when big promoters and investors get involved. Still, he quickly turns back to the ring itself. In his view, Atama needs more rounds, growth, and seasoning before facing that kind of elite opponent. Meanwhile, he calls Usyk the best of his generation, a fighter who's already proven everything. Because of that, Rawlings doubts this fight will ever happen. Not because of hype or buzz, but because the gap in skill and legacy is just too big to close.
He's a fighter, he's a winner, he's got plenty of ambition, and he truly believes that he can go in there and beat any man in the world right now, and that includes Alexander Usyk. Do I personally think it's too soon? Yes, I do. Usyk's he's a different breed, he's a different fighter. Yes, he's getting older.
No matter what people say, one thing about Moses Atama stands out. The skill is off the charts, but the timing debate won't die. Some see a champion in the making. Others argue putting him against Alexander Usyk now is way too soon. Usyk still sets the standard in heavyweight boxing. Even with age creeping into the conversation, the real question is whether Atama can rise fast enough to close the gap, or if that shot disappears before it ever comes.
He has the more experience on his side, Itauma.
That's it. Absolutely.
You know, another 4 or 5 fights down the line, then you're looking at an absolute wrecking ball. Then he would beat everybody put in front of him.
They said
but
that,
nobody's going to. Yeah, nobody's going to beat.
They said Saturday who's going to give them the rounds. That's what they were saying. They wanted them out.
Nobody beats Usyk right now.
No matter what people say, one thing about Moses Atama stands out. The skill is off the charts, but the timing debate won't die. Some see a champion in the making. Others argue putting him against Alexander Usyk now is way too soon. Usyk still sets the standard in heavyweight boxing. Even with age creeping into the conversation, the real question is whether Atama can rise fast enough to close the gap, or if that shot disappears before it ever comes.
He has the power, he has the variation. He didn't throw an uppercut until he finished it with an uppercut. That was the only punch he ever threw. He can throw it to the head, he can throw it to the body. And he went 5 rounds, he threw a lot of punches. So, for me and the rest of the heavyweights, we hope he can't take a punch, or he ain't getting beat. It's as simple as that.
Now it's your turn. Is Atama really the next big heavyweight champ? Or does Usyk still dominate the game for years ahead? Share your take in the comments, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and keep watching for more knockout boxing analysis just like this. This video is for information and educational purposes only, aimed at keeping boxing fans updated. All content follows YouTube policies and fair use guidelines. Some insights were enhanced with AI assistance to make the video more unique, informative, and engaging for our audience. This is not professional advice or promotion of any fighter, just analysis and commentary.